Hello, how are you? Today I brought a recipe that you all have been asking me to make for a long time. It's the recipe for peanut butter, 100% natural. It's very easy to make, just a few steps. And I'll explain why it's more interesting to make it at home, give you some tips. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it, since I'm also going to give you an option to change things up in your daily routine, and you're going to love it. So stick around until the end. If you love recipes that are easy, quick, and affordable, you're going to love the channel. Take the opportunity to subscribe and turn on the notification bell because there are new videos every day, and you won't want to miss them. Before we start our recipe, which is very easy to make, but there are a few tips I want to give you and show you how to do it, let me remind you that the ingredients for the variation I'm going to make will also be listed down below, and the quantities it will yield, and the nutritional information, because you always ask me for that. So to make peanut butter, we need peanuts. You can buy peanuts with the skin, with the shell, that purple part. I'm not sure if there are any here that still have it, because actually I ended up buying peanuts that are already shelled and roasted. To make the recipe, you can use them raw, but ideally you should use roasted peanuts as it will be more flavorful. Because when you eat raw peanuts, they don't have as strong a flavor as when you eat roasted peanuts. So you can buy them with the skin. There's nothing here with the skin. I actually wanted to show you, but you know how it is. That pink skin, you're going to roast the peanuts with it. And after they're roasted on low heat, you wait for them to turn golden. Once they're roasted, you take them like this, rub them with your hands, and the skin comes off completely. It's very easy, but it's a lot of work because it's a large quantity. So if you can buy them already roasted, it's better. Do like I do and buy them unsalted. You can see that mine are just plain roasted peanuts because you're going to make a sweet recipe. Not to mention, you also avoid that excess sodium. A lot of people consume much more salt than they realize in their daily lives. I even have a video here talking about the symptoms of excess sodium, so you can check if you're doing this, because it's very common in peanut-based products. So, how are we going to make this delicious peanut-based cream? Well, I have a food processor here. Mine is actually one of those compact models that comes with a hand blender, so it's small, lightweight, and very easy to use. You can also use a regular blender, but with a blender, you'll have to keep stopping and stirring with a spatula so it can blend everything properly and smoothly. Because we need to blend this for a while, until it transforms into a butter, a real cream. And what's the difference between making it at home and buying it ready-made? The big difference is that you're using only peanuts. In the food industry, usually when they make these peanut butters, they end up adding some other type of fat precisely to make it easier to blend. Because peanuts are naturally a food that's very rich in fat, a very high-calorie food. It's a healthy fat, but it's still a very fatty food. I even remember once I was watching one of those survival shows with my husband many years ago, and the participant was in the forest and grabbed some peanuts, mashed them, and oil would come out of the peanuts. Then he would light a lamp with the peanut oil. I've never forgotten that. So peanuts naturally contain oil inside them. You don't need to add more oil, which is what the industry ends up doing, and it's usually a lower quality oil. Sometimes it's palm oil, an oil that isn't good for consumption. And often, in the industry, they also add sugar. I think 90% of peanut butters have sugar in their ingredients, which ends up making it a calorie bomb because it's already very high in calories and already has a lot of fat. So if you follow a low-carb diet, this won't be an option for you, but if you make your own peanut butter, it's very easy for you to consume. I'm giving you these details before blending because once I start, you won't be able to hear me because of the noise from the machine. So if you can make it at home, it's better, especially because this peanut butter, which is super healthy and 100% peanuts, just like we're going to make here, is much more expensive when you buy it ready-made at the store than the peanut butter that has sugar, palm oil, and so on. And you know that peanuts are generally one of the more affordable nuts, much more accessible. So look for peanuts that have a certification of origin to avoid any risk of contamination. That's always very important. Now let's start blending. I'll show you the step-by-step process. Come with me. Look, I'm going to show you how it's turning out. It will start to stick in the middle. So we need to push it down and blend again. Otherwise, you'll get that hole in the middle and you'll be straining your food processor for no reason. At this point, if you're using a blender, open it up and do the same thing. I'll keep blending here, and we'll do this until it turns into a cream. I'll show you, and then I'll give you that option I mentioned before, which will be delicious and everyone will want to make it at your house. Let's take a look at how it's going. I kept stopping and stirring. You can even use this spoon here, which is sturdier because it makes it easier. Look, if you like peanut butter with chunks, the kind that's less blended, you can stop right here. See how it's already turned into peanut butter? See? And it's 100% peanuts. I'm going to blend it a little more and season it, just wait. Just to make it smoother, because for spreading on bread, bananas, pancakes, wherever you want, it works better when it's creamier. So I'm going to blend it a bit more. Look how the consistency is already changing. It's still just peanuts so far. You saw I haven't added anything else. Look at this. Isn't it amazing? It turned out just like the store-bought kind, only much healthier, of course. Now I'm going to do the following. I'm going to add a bit of sweetener here. You can use any sweetener you like at home. It could be stevia, xylitol, erythritol, even those liquid sweeteners for coffee, you can add them too, because it won't be heated. So I'll add a little here and mix it in. And the amount of sweetener is really up to your taste if you want it sweeter or less sweet. Why am I using sweetener here? Because I don't want to add more carbohydrates. I don't want to add sugar to this. You can add it, but remember that adding brown sugar, demerara sugar, or honey will increase the calorie content of your peanut butter. So let's blend the rest here. I'm going to set aside a little here in this jar I grabbed because this is my first version. But as I mentioned, I'll make another version here later. Let me grab another spoon to help out. Because what's good can always get even better. And if you want to eat it with banana, this one is delicious. It goes really well together. I have some recipes on the channel with peanut butter, cake, cookies, ice cream, and more. I'll leave them for you in the description down below because sometimes we have it at home and don't know what to use it in. So we can do it like this. I'm going to let it drop like this so you can see the consistency. Look how wonderful that is. 100% natural. You can even offer it to children as well. Some people like to add a spice here too, like cinnamon, for example, or nutmeg. If you want, you can do that as well. Look, it's 100% peanut. Actually, it's peanut and sweetener. But it could have been 100% peanut if you wanted to make it without sweetener. In fact, if you're going to eat it with banana, you don't even need to add sweetener. So, as I promised you, I'm going to make another version here. This is the base, you'll do this. But if you want to enhance it, for chocolate lovers, we can add a bit of cocoa powder. I'm using a sugar-free cocoa powder, but if you want to use 100% cocoa, you can use that too. Remember, the higher the proportion of cocoa, the more benefits you'll get from the cocoa itself. I have a video here on the channel talking more about this. I have an entire playlist of chocolate recipes, and I'll leave all of that down below in the description for you as well. Look, once it's mixed, that's really all there is to it. Now I can even remove the blade because I won't be blending anything else here. And I'm going to put it in this other container, which I had already grabbed here to show you. Let me grab my spoon here to help me transfer it. It ends up looking just like that delicious chocolate cream we usually buy to spread on pancakes too. That one is usually made with hazelnuts, and if you want to make it with hazelnuts too, it will work if you do it exactly like this, but it's more expensive. Peanuts are cheaper. Look at the consistency of this chocolate one so you can see how it turns out. And remember, I have other recipes like this one here on the channel for you to use at breakfast or as a snack. There are plenty of options. So take the opportunity to tell me if you're going to make the traditional version or the chocolate one. I'd love to see your comment. Give the video a like because that really helps me out, and share it with anyone who likes it or who needs it. Let's work together to spread this positive movement. That's what I want most for the channel. See you next time. And between the chocolate and the traditional one, I think I'll stick with the traditional. I'm going to try a bit here with you. Let's taste it.